All right, so I'm going to warn you now. I don't think you're going to like the explanation for this question. A lot of people get it wrong, and it's just weird. So it's a goal question. We should look at what the question actually says, and we need to make sure we're giving them what they want, right? So it's not about what we would write. It's about what the SAT wants from us in this situation. And they specifically say we need to emphasize how quickly this needs to happen. So hopefully you realize that the word nominal is just strange, right? Like we don't use that word, and that's a we shouldn't eliminate it because we don't know it. But this is why I don't like this explanation. Is that's kind of why we eliminate it. Is it doesn't fit. Nominal just means like kind of like a few, like a little bit, and so that might seem good, but even these other two that also kind of mean just a few minutes are wrong. D is the answer here. And the reason is, even though all four of these choices emphasize the fact that it's a short amount of time, only one of them, choice D, puts the emphasis on it being a bad thing that it's a short amount of time. They have mere minutes to develop it. It's kind of like a fancy word for only, right? That has only see, this is why I don't like this. Only a few minutes, right? That's what I would say here. If I were just writing this myself, I would say dried collodion is unusable. So once the photo is snapped with a massive tripod-mounted camera, the photographer has only a few minutes to develop it using more chemicals. That's what I'd say. Now I know that B is mostly that, but it's missing the key component, which is only. We need to stress that the fact that it's a short amount of time is important. And B leaves that part out. C leaves that part out, right? I'd love an only there as well. And so it's not quite accomplishing the goal as the SAT would like it. D is obviously using a different word, but mere is a word we use to emphasize the shortness of something, right? It's just emphasizing there's almost like a suspense to it. And I don't really have a good, deeper explanation as to why that word means what it means. Like you can look it up in a dictionary. But this is where this question to me starts to bleed into some writing vocab. I didn't classify it as that, but it's got a little bit of that going on, where kind of like the reason I know this is right is I know what the word mere means from just like experiencing that word in other contexts. And so my brain can't really articulate what exactly makes that better, because it's so similar to those other wrong answers. But it kind of just knows. So that's why it's like some of those vocab questions, right? Because for those, we get four words that mean the same thing. And the right answer is usually the one that we would use, the one that we would put there because it's just better for the situation. And our brain knows what words to use in certain situations just from experience with the language. It's hard to articulate why. A dictionary won't tell you why. But your experience, your knowledge, it knows. That's kind of what you're going to have to just take from this question, is that D is right because there's some little component of this word that gets across the meaning that the SAT wants from us, and we just kind of know that from experience and hearing this word in other contexts. If that is not a satisfactory explanation, I am sorry, but I don't really know what else to say here. Sometimes there's just a weird question where you either know it or you don't. There's not really a rule, and we just do the best we can. Luckily, there's only maybe one or two of those per test. So if you do all your other homework and you memorize all the other rules and practice and learn about all the other kinds of questions, you should be fine. And then this last question or two is just good or bad luck. That's what it takes on the SAT to be perfect. A lot of skill and a little bit of luck. And if you got unlucky here, I'm sorry. But hopefully next time, your luck will be better.